Start with action.
Ready, break.
Ready, break. Here we are, friends. Welcome. Episode 13, the season finale, question mark, of the Waft. And let's just get started with some exciting news. We talked about it, we kind of alluded to it all season long. People weren't expecting it. Neither were we. But good news. We're expecting some post-production on this motherfucking podcast.
Your mom just got so happy, and then you just
Cindy.
crushed her dreams.
And Pam.
Pam doesn't care.
We are expecting some post-production. Maybe, intern, Jess, if you could throw some boom, something exploding right there.
Yeah.
That's your first
this
test.
This podcast is about to be lit.
Oh, man. Real excited. Real excited. Shout out Jess, who is a new member at Cycle Bar and a new listener of the Waft, and she reached out to me and said that she could help. So we're real excited for this. And that's why we say season finale question mark. Because if we got an intern and we got some post-production...
Maybe this is just the beginning.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
But we're not taking the Titanic down. I have nothing more to add to that. I was going to think of something cool, but I got nothing. So, should we recap the Fuckstick of the week, or should I leave that for the end? Let's leave that for the end.
Okay.
So, I alluded to it at the end of episode 12, which was 4 weeks ago, I feel like, at this point. I showed it to you on my phone, and it's a little segment I like to call Unsolved Mysteries. And I'm sure Google could help me on this, but I feel like everyone else should question and wonder this as well. How do animals poop without having to wipe?
This segment should be called Things Emily Would Never Have Thought of Had She Not Married Dwight. Because literally that thought would have never walked into my mind, but you have those thoughts.
I'm curious if other people have had that thought. Or if you've never had that thought, you are thinking about it now. You're thinking about watching your dog or watching another dog or your cat take a dump and then not have to wipe. Or a deer or an elk or a bear. None of them have to wipe. But the thing about it is they don't get poop on the furniture. How? How come I have to wipe? How come you have to wipe if you pooped?
I don't have the answer to that since I don't poop, but...
I use a bidet, which is great, but you still got to dry it and get any leftover off.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting.
Well, we're picking up from season 2, where we're the number one poop podcast in the Midwest. Or is this season 2?
This is season 2.
Pick it up from season 1. We're the number one poop podcast in the Midwest.
I think it's just evolution, and as humans, as we evolved as a species, because I'm sure early humans did not wipe. They were living out in the bush with nothing. It's just as we evolved, we became more cleanly.
So they're just walking around with mud butt? But the thing about it is animals don't have mud butt.
That's not true, because sometimes Frank will scoot his ass on our carpet.
No,
And sometimes Mackle gets, little
dingleberries, yes.
And I gotta take care of it. So I don't think that it's true that they don't have to wipe. I just don't think that they have the capability.
They don't have the capability, but dogs, when they scoot, it's usually because they got an itchy butt. We've all kind of if I do one of those guys.
I get what you're saying. This past weekend, Chipper had some major stomach issues, and he would have explosive problems, and then just walk away and be totally fine.
And he has hair sticking.
Yeah, I don't. It is pretty fascinating that they can just go to the bathroom and have no remnants. I'm not an expert, since again I've never taken a number 2, but. It is a topic. I don't know if it's an interesting topic, but it's a topic.
We just talked about it for 5 freaking minutes, so
let's keep it
I'm
rolling.
very curious. The next one I have, you don't know what I'm about to talk about, but when you think of fall, what do you think of for ladies? It's what, pumpkin?
It's basic white bitches. It's pumpkin spice lattes.
So it's high boot season, pumpkin spice latte
Flannels,
season. You know what else? You know what else it is for you ladies? Prickly leg season.
That's all year round, babe. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Now that you're married, yes.
Yeah, fuck that. When you got giraffe legs, it's a lot of work to shave.
but it is prickly leg season.
Winter is just full hibernation. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have to wear shorts anymore, so I can just let the hair grow. Is that a problem?
No, I wrote this probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I don't know if we were snuggling and like I felt like a little prickle or what.
Sometimes I just, it is a lot of work and I don't have time. We're so busy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I just think that you ladies should really enjoy fall, or like you hate winter, but just remember, it's prickly leg season.
Yeah, I get to cover up. I mean, if you think about it though, for ladies, like it's so much work. I have to
it
shave
sucks.
everything, and sometimes the legs just don't make the cut.
I don't know how you get cut. Get it?
Yeah.
Whew. I don't know how you ladies do it, because when I used to pro wrestle, I wore like sometimes I wore tights full length so I didn't have to shave anything. Other times I wore biker shorts. Other times I wore like essentially underwear, and I would shave the groinal region, Sandra. Groinal, and just maintaining that was awful, and I can't imagine doing the rest like on a daily basis or whatever your like patterns are.
Well, thank
Sounds
God
awful.
it is prickly leg season, so I can just let that shit go.
Yep. So that's awesome. Good for you ladies. Prickly leg season is upon us. Moving right along. We've talked about the Midnight Boners and how that is going to be our band. It's just a matter of us having any musicality. Speaking of musicality, Jess, Jess, I don't want to get this wrong. She works with the symphony or is in a symphony.
I think she works with the symphony, but I know she also plays instruments.
You play a bunch of instruments too. So if you want to create a theme song and put it at the start of this, by all means, you go for it.
God, what would the Waft theme song be?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
But with the Midnight Boners, that is our band, which we still, with a Z, mind you, Boners with a Z. We need to get some merchandise made for the Midnight Boners as well as the Waft. And I just have Midnight Boners album title ? I'm very curious of what our first CD is going to be called.
I'm sorry, I just got so distracted because as we were talking about shaving, I thought of this story I wrote in journalism school. And when I was getting my master's, I did magazine writing, and I always wanted to write for a magazine like Cosmo.
Oh,
And
is that still
so
a thing?
Cosmopolitan is still a magazine. I wanted to live in New York and write for Cosmo. And so one of my articles that I wrote and I pitched to them, which I feel like you would appreciate, was like, God, what it was, the headline was like, "Bring back the bush." Or like something with a bush. And I interviewed all these waxing people about how like waxing had become a thing, but it hadn't always been a thing, and we should bring back the bush and like free the vagina. And didn't get picked up by Cosmo, but that was an article I wrote.
That's fantastic, and honestly, that could be the album title for the Midnight Boners. Bring back the bush. That's either the album title or a song.
I thought it was Bazooka Juice.
No. That could be a song or the album title. Their number one hit single is Bazooka Juice, aka Come.
Yes.
That's the number one hit single from the Midnight Boners. And then also, we're shooting for the fences, and we're going to reach out to T-Pain and see if he wants to collab with us for a little hit we call Boobies and Booty.
I feel like that is already a T-Pain song.
Yeah, that's
probably.
pretty much of all T-Pain songs the way it is.
Boobies and Booty?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I just, it seems right up T-Pain's alley. So, T-Pain, call me, or should I call you? Let's chat offline. I'll slide into your DMs. So Bring Back the Bush is either the album title or a song for sure. And that could, I don't know if anyone would wear that shirt, but yeah. God, the things that we talk about. Another question I'm curious on that stems from when I'm at your parents' house and they get me chocolate milk. And I'm the only one that's going to be drinking this chocolate milk. So whether you're in that scenario or at your house, I guess it's more relatable. If you're the only person that's going to be drinking something, carton of milk, orange juice, whatever, high C, do you drink it straight from the carton or do you put it in a glass? Because I have, for probably 5 years, my chocolate milk, I rarely put it into a glass because I like to just take a swig, put it back. I know no one else is touching it. Taboo or no?
I mean, I don't think it's taboo because you're the only one drinking it. I personally feel like it's gross because you take a swig and then you automatically are going to get some backwash. And then it's just sitting in that giant jug, and I just feel like it has more time to like accumulate bacteria. Like whereas
Fair.
water, a water bottle, like we drink it within an hour. So it's not and it's water. But I think with like a milk or a juice, like you don't want your saliva bacteria sitting in there over time. So to me, it just grosses me out.
That's fair. I always just wondered if I did that at your house. If
I mean, I'm pretty sure if Pam and David Harborn saw you taking a swig from they wouldn't care because they're not drinking it, but it would be in Pamela Harborn's book
foul.
very uncouth of you,
Foul.
very uncouth
Yes.
to drink from the bottle.
Yeah. Fair enough. I can see the bacteria.
My dad doesn't even drink beer from a bottle, so they're not about to drink anything.
After being in the beer industry for 10 years, it's much better to pour it into a glass to release the aroma. So I don't know if chocolate milk has aroma or not.
Let it breathe like wine.
Yeah. Let it breathe just like nipples. It's episode 13. Mary, our anonymous donor, paid $50.
These babies are very secure today. They're not coming out.
Jess just flashed a couple nipples on her shirt right now.
Just put boobs up, yeah. Make sure they're good boobs, though.
Yeah, nice, perky ones.
Yeah.
And speaking of boobs, another thing I talked about maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, half-baked idea. Why did we talk about this? How did that come about?
I honestly don't know. That was just an idea that you had.
It's half-baked for sure.
It might already exist.
Yeah, it says booby trap shirt. And now I'm trying to think.
I literally think one day he was just like, oh, I had an idea. I think there should be a shirt like a booby trap. Where you just...
Yeah, I'll come back to it because there was a lot more elaboration to it, and I think those shirts exist. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, I think for breastfeeding moms that's already a thing, but you have to explain what it is. What's a booby trap?
A booby trap.
You didn't even explain what it was.
Well, yeah. So maybe if I start to think this out, a booby trap is an instance when you got boobs. You spread them apart, and then maybe I was to put my hand or my face in there, and then she lets go and boom, 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 boom. Booby trap.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking of something totally different. I thought it was the shirt where there's like buttons, and you just like can unbutton it, and then the...
That's a trap, though.
Wasn't that the shirt that you wanted? You were talking about shirt where you can just like pull it, and the boobs fall out. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm pretty sure that's probably a thing for breastfeeding moms.
That was the idea.
But Dwight wants it for his own pleasure.
The booby that I remember the idea of the shirt was because you said like I feel like you were talking about your boobs being constrained, but you would still have to wear a bra, and I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, something with a booby trap and a shirt and breastfeeding, which I feel like the idea exists because I remember asking Rebecca about it, but it wasn't like the best. And there's room for improvement. I'm rambling now, and I'll figure out what that was for. But yeah, a booby trap when I was less mature. So when a girl pulls her boobs apart, and then
whose boobs does that though? No fucking woman has boobs that does. You pull them apart and they come back together.
Use your imagination.
This must have been when you were a fucking child and had never touched boobs, aka 4 years ago.
Oh wow!
Like, jeez.
Shots fired. I lost my virginity at 24. Thank you very much. Maybe it was 23.
I'm sorry. There's no shame in that, babe. It's fine.
By choice. Thank you very much. Fine. By choice. Thank you very much. Fucking A.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, let me see where we're at. Gotta get the timer. 14 minutes. Okay, 2 more things, and then we're out of here. Do you Dutch oven yourself?
This episode is dog shit.
I bet there's going to be a lot of people that find lots of humor in this episode.
Again, things Emily would have never thought of until she married Dwight.
I'm just curious because sometimes you're laying down either on the couch.
Do not say you are laying down. You put it
the
as
listener,
I'm laying down.
You
Dwight
lay down,
is laying on the couch.
And little Tootski slips out, or maybe a big Tootski, and you're just like, oh man. So you just take a little whiff and just see what you're working with. Honestly, it's kind of like a health check. You're supposed to inspect your poop to see how healthy you are. So, like, if you have a really rank fart, I'm just like, oh, man, back off the pizza. Back off whatever. Or if it doesn't have much of a smell, you're just like, okay, I'm good. It's curious. Sometimes you're just a little curious. I can just feel the. I don't even know the fumes coming.
Questioning life choices that I've made that have led me to this point in life is what's happening.
You should be thankful. Whenever I do it and I know it's bad, like I nonchalantly will like put my arm on the blanket on your side to make sure that it doesn't come up your way. And my arm's looking real good right now.
Yeah.
We just hit the gym. No biggie. We work out. So, do you Dutch oven yourself? Do you just take a little whiff? A little curious?
Yeah, I wouldn't phrase it as do you Dutch oven yourself. I would be like, do you smell
do you smell your farts?
Do you fart and then you're like, oh, let me see how bad it was.
Yeah, because Dutch oven yourself is like torture.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
No.
Maybe just take a little whiff and see what you're working with. It's kind of like in season 1 where I'm like, season 1 I'm pretty sure we talked about smelling your belly button. So if you haven't watched that episode, don't lie. You've smelled your belly button. If you haven't, just dig in, take a whiff.
I also feel like there is no shame. We're people who do not judge. So this is fucking Dwight. If you do smell your farts, just because I don't, doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. Like, if you're like watching this and you're like, yeah, I do, but I wish I could admit it, Dwight's your guy. Like,
yeah,
let it out. Who gives a shit?
Just listen to the last like 16 minutes and hear the shit we talk about.
At the end of the
Clearly
day,
no shame.
The only person you have to impress is yourself. And so if you want to smell your fucking farts, then smell your farts, right? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. So this is your outlet to be like, yeah, Dwight, I do that too.
Boom. You can post that on your social media too.
Yeah.
She's not going to.
No.
All right, finishing things up with the recap of Fucksticks of the week. Jess, here's where we need ya. Let's see what you got. She's gonna just like cover the screen up and recap them as we go. So I'm gonna go back to the very first inaugural Fuckstick of the week. People who do not park between the lines. You're a fuckstick. Just park between the lines. Or if you shade like towards one side and you're really close, you're still kind of a fuckstick because you're just gonna create a domino effect of people eventually parking like fucksticks. So park between the lines. It's not hard. 2, people who don't pick up their dog's poop. Real simple. Pick it up. However, caveat, I put this on my social media. If it's in like a wooded area and no one's really going there, it's kind of fertilizer. So that's a gray area. But more often than not, pick up your dog's poop. If it's in someone's yard, dog park, those are obviously areas where people are going to be walking. Pick it up. 3, people who pull out in front of someone else while driving and make the person behind them slow down. Total fuckstick move. If you're gonna make the person slow down, just fucking wait. 4, people who don't put their shopping carts away. That's just laziness and being a fuckstick. Go put it back. I've worked at a grocery store. It's really annoying when you have to go chase carts down instead of just going to the different corrals and getting them. Because it kind of sucks pushing that many carts to begin with. So then when you got to go to your way to get more, not fun. 5, shout out Elise, right? Mm-hmm. People who talk on speakerphone while in public. 6, people who don't throw their trash away. Again, a lot of this is just being lazy. Just throw your trash away. Whether it's a gum wrapper, your cup, whatever it is, just throw your trash away. It's really not hard. 7, people who don't pull up while in line at a drive-thru or stoplight to allow room for the person behind them to be able to order or make a turn. Kind of a mouthful, but if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Just pull up, be aware of your surroundings. It's not just about you while driving. Number 8, people who are rude to service industry workers. That's a big one. Don't be a dick. They're there to take your order. They're underpaid, as we talked about on other episodes. I shouldn't have to pay their bill with my tip. Story for another day. But don't be rude to them. Don't do it. 9, people who stop in the middle of a grocery store aisle or busy walkway and block people behind them. If you need to stop and look at your phone, tie your shoe, whatever it is, just move to the side. Again, this is just be aware of your surroundings, because you're a fuckstick if you just stop in the middle of the aisle and then hold up traffic, or at the mall, or at the airport, so on and so forth. All right, Jess, come back to us real quick. Right here. Yeah. Fuckstick of the week. Last episode of the season. Kinda, sorta. The last fuckstick. People who do not watch or listen to the Waft.
Yeah.
So if you're watching right now, you're not a fuckstick. But if you see this on my Instagram and you don't watch the Waft, or you don't listen to the Waft, I'm calling you out. You're a fuckstick. Mic drop. And then I have to be continued, ... Where do we go from here? Are we going to be weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, whatever the buys mean, every other week? That's to be determined. We would love to continue to do this. It really is helpful on a Tuesday night when we record this during Tuesday afternoon when we don't have to work Tuesday night. Shout out Sarah who's working tonight, so we have an off night. It makes it way easier for us to be able to fit this into our schedule. So once we have Tuesday nights covered at Psycho Bar, we could do this on a weekly basis, I think. My wife is totally over this. It is 12:15 and she needs food at 12 o'clock. So on that note, thanks for tuning in and not being a fuckstick.
Peace out.
Cub Scouts.